Hello everybody and welcome back for another video, and today's video will technically be my 1000 subscriber special. And what I mean by special is this is going to be a old vintage Transformer that I found recently. In some months on a Sunday we do have this thing called the Toyman Show, and I'll show a little image of it right here on the screen. This is a local show that runs, like I said, on Sundays occasionally, on usually every other month, sometimes every month, and during this show I happen to find a very sweet vintage Transformer, and I'm loving to show this to you right now. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get them into the screen. First we have Skysoar, Seasoar, and Landsoar, aka Magmatron from Beast Wars Neo. These three were from Beast Wars Neo, of course, as I just said, and they were also part of the toy line that went for Beast Machines. Not really sure if I have which one I have. There's a little difference between the two. One is a little glossier than the other one, but otherwise, this is the one I have, and this is awesome because I've been looking for these guys for a very long time, and I even got a really good deal with them. Without further ado, let's get into these guys. First, we have Skysoar, aka Quetzalcoatlus. I'm not by any means a paleontologist. I definitely looked that up. There's no way that I would have known that. But yes, overall, this guy is really neat too. His wings go all the way out, just like so. They do kind of flap. Below we have two missiles / swords that can be held on the wings that can be removed, as well as some nice red and kind of fading look here in the front with the yellow on the beak. Beak opens up just like so and closes. But that's about it for him. Next we have the Giganotosaurus, which is this body piece right here, which is a nice purple and blue dinosaur that kind of looks like a T-Rex of sorts, but it's not. It's a Giganotosaurus. A little smaller than a T-Rex overall, but still very nice. It's got nice paint here throughout the spine, as well as a little kibble showing, but you can expect that from a Beast Wars figure overall. But he does have a little bit of clamping motion here. Goes up and down on a spring, and the arms do move as well as the legs go in a little bit too. Next, we have the Seasoar, aka Elasmosaurus. Good articulation here on the neck, which pretty much has a ball joint at each little bit, which is fantastic. Mouth opens up and down as well. Good evil look to the eye. This is probably my favorite of the three. There's so much to this guy. The fins move in and out with the movement of the back, as well as good green and kind of a turquoise look throughout, which again is pretty fantastic. Included with this guy as well, he has two missiles inside this body, and we do have a sword of sorts. Again, I'm not sure if this is the Japanese version or the Beast Machines version from America. This rounded tip right here kind of makes me think it might be from America. Again, I'm not 100% sure. If someone knows, go ahead and post it down in the comments. I really appreciate it if you do. Bit of a size comparison between these guys. Let's go ahead and bring in Beast Wars Tigertron. You can kind of see the size comparison between all four of these. They're all about the size of a deluxe for the most part, maybe a little bit higher. Not really sure what the name convention is for the one above a deluxe from Beast Wars. I don't quite remember, but there you go. As well as a ultra class Megatron, which you can see the size difference there. Overall, prehistoric look is pretty great right here. On to transformation. So there is two different transformations here. We can go one straight to Magmatron, or we can go into this real funky mode. And I think we're going to go into that mode first. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's move these two guys out of the way. First, we'll take Seasoar here. We're going to disconnect this piece, the body and the tail. Once you do, this opens up this whole piece. This, you kind of just move it to the side for the most part. And you're going to take these arms, which will be arms later. These will be legs for right now. Fold them out, bring the fists out, lay them down nicely, as so. And this, again, will be maneuvered here in a little bit. But for the most part, there we go for right this minute. Next, we'll bring in Landsoar. This is an interesting transformation overall, like I said. So what we'll do is this is going to go in kind of like sliding in a way. It's kind of awkward to hold this and try to get it on camera the best we can. Let's move these out of the way a little bit. Okay, so this will slide down. There is a slot there for that peg. This piece right here will clamp on right there. And once you get that, clipped in. It does hold in really nicely once you have it all connected correctly. Get these legs down. We'll situate all that here in a minute. Fold this around. These pieces move out since you'll need motion to move them around. This then, there is a peg here, and this little slot here will be for this slot and that hole. If you get it maneuvered correctly, it should peg in. May fall apart like mine just did. And like I said, this is a very, very strange kind of combination here. And it doesn't always work out the first try. But we'll get it. Okay, and with a little bit of movie magic, we did get this figured out here. So let's go ahead and get these legs moved around, get them straight. This little guy is going to go up to the top for right now. Once you get it all fiddled together and figured out, get his legs straight for the best that you can. It is quite awkward, and it does unpeg. Mine, for some reason, won't stay together, but for the most part, there's that. And then we'll bring in Landsor. This guy will disconnect the head, rotate this around, give a odd-looking way of the beak going in the back of the body here. On the top of this guy, there are 2 slots that these back pegs will then peg into. Just like so. Which that one actually connects very nicely. And there you have Magmatron and this very weird human centipede looking connection. It's odd looking overall, but I really do dig it. It's so weird. That's what really makes this figure really cool, in my opinion. There is no rhyme or reason for it, and I mean, I know it's in the show, but overall, no real reason for this. It's just really neat looking. You can also bring the sword, and you can put it in the mouth. Give a even stranger look to the overall look of this guy. But yeah. It's a neat little combination. And here he is next to Beast Wars Megatron. Here you can see he's a little closer to the same size now with all the additional heft on him. But there you go. Alright, now to get Magmatron into his robot mode, we'll take this piece off. Disconnect everybody once again. And move on to Seesaw. So this guy, you'll have to disconnect this bottom piece from the top piece here. And it's just on a bit of a peg here. Which will then separate right about there. And separate this. This will then become a shield later on. And I'll show that once we get there. We'll just get it all straight. Get it out of the way for right now. You do see the 2 missiles in there, but we'll just leave them in there because there's no need to use them for this moment. On to this piece. This is where the arms will be. We'll get these straightened out for the best that we can. Get the thumbs ready for combination mode, and we'll leave it just like so for the time being. On to Skysaur. For the most part, he's ready to go. Let's move this up. Get this piece angled correctly, which will be the chest piece. This will actually fold down, which we'll get there in a minute, but for the most part, he is ready to go as well. On to Landsor. This is the most work I guess you'll have to do for the 3 modes. We'll go here, bring the feet out. These will rotate around, go underneath the feet, make a little bit more stability for him while he's standing. Give a heel as well, rotate that out. Get these nice and straight. Take the chest piece here. Get this out of the way for the time being so we can separate the legs from this piece and rotate that leg in the back. Rotate the tail to the back for the time being. This piece, if it stayed out, rotate that around. These 2 legs will then fold in together like so and should connect if they want to cooperate. Just like that. These 2 pegs in the back of the butt will then peg into there, making the legs and the crotch area a little more stable. This piece will then fold up. Get that out of the way. Heading a little higher here, take this whole head piece, rotate it out of the way. This piece will come out, which will become a weapon later on. Rotate this over. These side panels will fold down. Make it so you can fold the arms of the dinosaur in there, making it nice and even. And this piece right here, there is a, if I move my finger out of the way, a peg right there that will peg into that slot, just like so. And we are ready to move on to add everybody together. Now moving on to add the three pieces together, we'll take Skysaur here. Get it lined up the best you can. So there is this peg here, there's a peg down here, and this tab right here that will tab, peg, and peg. So get it lined up the best you can. Push that in there, and without my finger trying to get in the way too much, you just move this chest piece in, and hopefully it pegs in the best it can. There we go. He is now as stable as he's going to get for the time being. Bring the head down. Peg the hands in to the chest, or at least lay it there for the time being. Have a little bit of trouble getting this guy all the way pegged together, so we'll wait with the hands. We'll then take the arms and the rest of Seesaur, and we're going to peg in there. We lift this tail up. This will slot in to the back. Best way to do this as well is to move this arm out of the way, because this will also peg into the side of this dinosaur. Take the back and the side panels, push everything together. Hopefully everything lands and lines up the way it should as it pegs together. Bring that arm around, peg that in. That looks straight, and fully connected. There we go. Bend the arms down. Get the palm pegged in on both sides for the back of this guy. We're just going to wrap this around. There's no real way to do this that's necessary. If you just wrap it kind of around any way you'd like, he may unpeg like that. But as long as you get this head through the front and through the bottom there, you'll see a little peg on the bottom of his head that's going to peg into the shoulder, because he wants to see everything as well. But there you have. After a very interesting transformation, Magmatron in his awesome robot mode. Now in this mode, there's not a whole lot of movement you can do. There's no real articulation. The legs do move around a little bit. The arms move around a little bit, but if you fiddle with him too much, he will fall apart. You can also take the sword here, peg that in, and get this rotated outwards, which reveals the lovely Predacon logo. Get his arm out a little bit. There's a slot here in the right hand that if you move the thumb the best way you can, kind of get it rotated in the best you can and peg it in. It holds the sword fantastically. There is no movement in that. You know, for some reason he's a little loose, but overall. But this right here will not move around, even if you wiggle him a lot. It is in there stiff. As for this piece, this is the shield, which right here to there, you just tab it in any way you like. You can have it upwards like that, downwards. May need to fold the hand in a little bit. I find it nicer to do it this way. And tab it in. Usually it stays. There we go. Good audible click. And there you have Magmatron, fully loaded and ready to go. And for comparison, we'll bring in Tigertron from the original Beast Wars. You can see the nice size difference between the two, as well as the original leader for the Predacons, Megatron from Beast Wars. And they again look pretty great. This guy's a little taller actually, but again, fantastic. Overall, Magmatron is a really fun vintage figure. I do recommend if you ever get a chance to pick him up, if you find him for a good price. I found this guy for a very good price. If you look on eBay, he does go for a heck of a lot of money. But if you can find him, good on you, pick him up. Very fun overall. There is a little bit of wibbly wobbliness with him, but if you can get through the transformation, it is a nice looking figure overall. I hope you enjoyed my 1,000 subscriber special. Nothing too spectacular, I know, but I figured, hey, a cool vintage figure might be something neat to show off. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Hit that like button, hit that little bell if you want as well, and I will talk to you again soon. Thanks again for watching.
Love is here, 命のある限り君は Dream of Love 守り続けてゆく